Cool. I'll call that better.
Right, so we're here at the allotment, at the microphone. Start again.
That's fine.
Got that bit off. So we're here at the Thrivemind microfarm today. It's just before Imbolc, and it's definitely feeling like spring is on its way. We're starting to get excited about all the new stuff that's coming our way. So what have we been up to today?
Put a bit more cardboard down. So we got a bit of cardboard on the beds down. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 12 outdoor beds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 20 indoor beds. And then just before Christmas, we managed to get a bit of cardboard down that we got from Derby City Centre again. We got waste cardboard from like Bear and Milk and Honey and other places, the Fig. And we put that down before Christmas, and then we just chucked a little bit more down inside as well. So we did that today.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Steve, you did most of the cardboard out here.
Well, it's just put in a couple of layers of cardboard because we want to be no dig.
Yeah.
You know, which is better for the soil, better for it in all sorts of ways. You know, and then compost on top. Yeah, there are some things growing. The comfrey over there is really sprouting up well already, and it's not even February yet.
Yeah.
What else did we do today?
So we helped with the polytunnel, didn't we? So we've got a bit of a split in our polytunnel. So we've had a bit of a go at taping it up, and we're going to see how that goes. I think we're going to have to do some, I guess, more like intensive work with it. Would you say we're probably going to get some more kind of reusing plastic from like a previous project? Say that?
Oh right, yeah.
We need to do more with it basically. It's going to be a bit of a challenge that we're going to work through together.
We chatted to Lee from Plot's Plate, and he was talking about like polytunnel tape for the inside. So Sabina, who is part of the team, kindly recommended that we got that like polytunnel tape, but we could do with that other tape. It's got a different name, so it's like foamy. It's kind of padded. If anybody knows, if anybody's watching this and knows, feel free to pop it in the comments, like any advice about that, because we've got a tear across the top of the polycord. But yeah, we'll work that out.
Yeah.
And what else? Was there anything else today? Oh, we have the compost.
Yeah, compost is looking absolutely amazing. Really exciting. So we're talking about a few more plans with compost. There's been quite a lot of compost added that has been come from Hub, so the Thrivemind Hub on Irongate. So we've been bringing that over. Well, you've been bringing over. Have you been bringing it on the bike?
Oh, Neil brought it.
Oh, yeah, Neil brought it.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
So a lot of the food waste that we accrued over Christmas has been brought down here by Neil. So that's all rich for the compost.
Yeah.
It's good greens, isn't it?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. As well as adding the cardboard for the dry component. So we've had the wet component from the from the composting bags from Thrivemind Hub from our cooking, and also the recycled cardboard from partners like the Fig. So we've been kind of like utilising all our connections and sources that we've got. Yeah.
We were talking about the fruit trees as well earlier on, and in the cage that they need pruning, even if it's a light prune, pretty sharpish, before they start sprouting all over the place.
Yeah. Oh, and major milestone, really exciting. So Simon brought some sprouting garlic. So we had our first planting today. So it's been our first thing that we've planted at the microfarm. So yeah, it's a pretty major milestone.
And we might want to just touch upon, okay then, so it is January, I don't know what date it is, but it's for January. So I guess we're yet to sort of give people the full vision. We'll unveil that soon, maybe in Imbolc. We'll kind of do a special video or something to give people a good overview of what we're doing and why we're doing it the way that we're doing it. But just to kind of like give a little taste of that now, we're using permaculture processes, but we want it to be specifically, we're a vegan project at Thrivemind Village in Derby, and so we've been doing a bit of learning, a bit of thinking, a bit of talking about what would it mean for us to be doing vegan permaculture. And I think we'll probably end up doing quite a bit about that, explaining what it means to be vegan as a permaculture project. But today we had a conversation, didn't we, about wool.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to say anything about that, because then it just gives an example of like the kind of questions that we're kind of asking.
Yeah.
Or not.
The nuance of it, basically, the nuance of making those kind of decisions.
And we had already made a decision, then we changed it.
Yes.
And like the stuff around the decision-making process, maybe.
Yeah.
Do you fancy that?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So when we got here, there is wool on some of our beds on the inside of the polytunnel, and we kind of decided to leave those because it would make no sense to kind of get rid of it. It's basically there to keep the heat in for the plants, to protect them from the frost. But then we were also donated some wool, which was a byproduct from somewhere. So we weren't buying it. It wasn't something that we were planning to use, but we were given it. So we were basically discussing about whether we should use that or not. So initially, kind of you talked to me. So I'm a vegan, and about what I felt about using it. And initially I was like, well, yeah, it's a byproduct, and we're just learning. It's not going to be perfect, that kind of thing. And now I'm kind of like, yeah, but we're supposed to be, if we're going to be working as like a vegan education project, and kind of starting off with practices where we're learning how to grow vegan, so we can educate other people, that's going to potentially like hinder us, at least for the first year. So we discussed different things that we could use with that wool. For example, like giving it to an crafter.
Yeah, there's a friend of mine up in Derbyshire, Liz, who for many years she does spinning and weaves the wool that she spins. She dyes them with a lot of the plants that she grows herself in the garden.
Yeah.
So maybe it's something that she could use. For a crafting thing.
And just to say a tiny bit about decision making, because it's not just about what happens with the ground, with the soil, with the things that we grow. It's about what does it mean for us to use permaculture together in terms of how we actually work together. The kind of how do we make a decision together, things like that. And we're kind of trying to introduce different sort of methods that people might use to try and make sure that everybody feels like their needs are being met. So it's important that we try and explicitly state things at times seek consent, explicitly seek consent. And so there's social permaculture, which is really important. But there's also, with that, often people might talk about sociocracy, which is a decision-making process, a governance process, if you like, that is often spoken about in the same breath as permaculture, because it tries to ensure that people move together by trying to make sure that the kind of values and the principles and the vision of the project are upheld, and that within that context, key decisions are sort of like made by consent. So I guess what was interesting was before Christmas we had a nice little crew here, didn't we? And we were here, and then because of the vegan permaculture thing. So I guess the point of the vegan permaculture thing is that it's about trying to not support harmful industries that depend upon animal exploitation and that are extractive towards animals. So what is vegan or not vegan? Would a worm farm be vegan or not? Would building a wildlife habitat that meant that we attracted more hedgehogs, etc., frogs, etc., a pond, etc., would it be vegan for us to do that? These are some of the interesting questions, and I guess this idea that we're trying to like work with nature, support life, support ecosystems, but not make decisions that contribute to having a negative impact on animals specifically and the wider ecosystem. So it's very interesting, and I think I'm quite enjoying talking about these things and learning about these things from each other, because it's not black and white, it's not clear cut. It's up to the people involved to actively engage with what it means to them, and for us to cultivate a principle of respect, where we're like, okay then, so in that first meeting we said, how about this then? I propose that if at any point a vegan on the project objects to anything that we're doing, then that trumps everything, yeah? And we all agreed to that by consent. So then the decision that we made about the wool, because we were like, oh, but the wool's it was a part of packaging that had come from some cardboard from a shop in town. But then we all agreed, but then the beauty is that we reflected on it, and we, Finlay shared concerns about it, and upon us listening and respecting the principles of the project and the needs that weren't being met by us using it, we objected to it. And but the final compromise was actually how do we keep this permaculture, and it was, as you said, like making sure that wall gets used well via another, positive, creative person. Yeah. So we're going to be thinking a little bit about what it means to be vegan and be doing a permaculture project. So we're not going to be using manure that's come from farms that's been, where there's been harm. It's about really exploring this stuff, which feels interesting to me and worth mentioning because it's Veganuary. Yeah. Absolutely. And before we wrap it up, then maybe because I know there's reasons to wrap it up. Yeah. When we think about the days or weeks ahead, the next steps of this project, what kind of things do we think that we should be really thinking about doing next here?
Well, I think, as I said before, I think the fruit trees need a bit of a prune, because if you don't leave it too long, it's going to be too late. And we want to let air circulate through them, and we want them to be healthy and growing. What about you?
I mean, obviously, polytunnel desperately needs work ASAP. I think for me, the thing that I'm most excited about in the short term is putting out some annuals, mostly in terms of for this year, so going fairly light on our impact on the space so we can observe it during the year. So basically take things a little bit lightly, put in some annuals, get into the swing of things, kind of have a routine of how often we're here, establish a group, and start kind of acting on it, but also at the same time having a bit of a long-term observation of the site and what the kind of ecology of the site is, and start thinking about kind of our bigger term plans of kind of why we're doing it. What is our purpose in terms of our larger contribution to Derby City and to each other at Thrivemind Village, and our connection with the hub as well, and how do we kind of like bring those two together into a cyclical relationship. So I think there's kind of short-term plans and there's long-term plans, and I'm excited about both.
Amazing. I think for me, it's quite hard, isn't it, sometimes to prioritise when you've got a load of stuff that you're aware of would be good to happen. But I feel that something that Liz spoke about, the importance of trying to really give some priority now to the social aspect, and by that what I mean is how we build infrastructure or systems that support the experience of being here and the relationship building when we're here. So Steve, the big thing that happened today obviously was that you actually brought down the stuff for teas and coffees.
The stove and the kettle and some water and some mugs and things,
which is obviously
I think it is good.
That's key.
Sitting around chatting and having a cuppa together.
And obviously today also we're very fortunate with our neighbour and partners from Plot to Plate, Lee. We've just been donated a nice load of different bits and bobs, like pots and boxes and mugs and tubs and a table and a few other bits and bobs. So we can start thinking and looking a little bit maybe at kind of bits of the layout without overdoing it or making anything too permanent, because we want these things to kind of evolve or emerge, if you like, but start making it so that we know that if any time we come down here and meet up here, it's like, oh yeah, nice, I can sit here, they can do some bits and bobs around the place, and then we can put the kettle on, we can have a cup of tea, we can plan if we need, even things like whiteboards, working out how we're going to communicate plans. Because even though we might not just think that's just a part of doing the work, actually again that's the social aspect. It's about how do we feel confident with the project, how do people feel empowered to know what's to be done or how to do things and that kind of thing.
People feel like it's their space because they have their input in the way that works for them.
That fits in really well with the social equity thing we were talking about, that everyone has a voice and everyone's heard.
All good then? Any last words, anything else? We all good?
I've got to get off.
I've got life to lead.
Alright,
Right then. I think that was good.
That was good. Yeah, that was good.